whammy this last couple of days. It's like all of a sudden, give me a whammy a bar of any, whether it's a Floyd or a Bigsby or anything. I just want to destroy things.
Sheer, unadulterated wank.
That was 80s wank at its finest.
I feel like going out and buying a pair of fluorescent socks, getting me a doner kebab.
Maybe even early 90s, I don't know.
I might go listen to some U2.
Am I in tune? Hang on.
That doesn't matter.
No,
You've got a whammy bar. You can bring it in tune. Well, it's easy to say that these are easy to play, but they're easy to play.
Well, you'd kind of hope so, as there's a pretty bold claim on the Ibanez website about what happens in the J Custom dog. J Custom is, you know, you've got your Ibanez standard range, the prestige range, premium range, and then the creme de la creme of the creme of the creme. Like the little bit when you open a Cadbury's cream egg and there's just that little wafer thing bit at the top.
Funny you should say that, because I actually have a Cadbury's cream egg on me. Hey man, they're great.
I don't like them. Anyway, so J Custom is where Ibanez say they put their finest luthiers. They get first dibs of all the timber.
Right.
And they spend the longest, you know, making sure the guitars are as best they can be, and they put all the premium components on it, and that's what J Custom is. And actually, the 8570Z, love those model numbers, Ibanez. Is that right? 8570Z, or is it 8750Z?
Just say it as if it was
8570Z.
Imagine they were letters rather than numbers, and it's B and S, BSTOZ, Zod. Bush.
So yeah, RG8570Z. This one in the sort of amber colour, which they call BBE, which will be something, and this one in the sort of trans black colour, which they call BX.
BBE got me excited about the 80s again with the Sonic Maximizer. Remember that?
And these are just, I mean, there's it's one of those guitars where as soon as you pick it up, it's very, very evident. I mean, I had to look closely at the neck pocket here. I mean, obviously you can see that you've got 4 screws holding the neck in, so it's obviously a bolt-on. But the pocket and the neck, the fit is so tight.
It's not often I see you this excited about a shred machine.
I know, but you literally look at there and just go, man, that is precision to the millimetre.
Well, that's
not even millimetre.
That's probably because he's a massive, full-fat Japanese Ibanez guitars.
Yeah.
They don't play around, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's got, you know, Seymour Duncan, sorry, DiMarzio pickups on them.
Yes.
I nearly said Seymour Duncan, didn't I? Have you got DiMarzios on them?
I've got DiMarzios too.
Because I read on a different website that they were Seymour Duncan, but I'm just going
to
go...
That website was wrong.
Yeah, it was. So let's just some up-to-the-minute double-checking. No, they are DiMarzio Air Norton in the neck, a True Velvet in the middle, True Velvet, and a Tone Zone in the bridge.
And also, they come with this really cool thing that I need to look into, which is the KTS Tone Resonant Titanium Truss Rod.
We love a bit of snake oil, to me and Rob.
Well, but it might not be snake oil, because they are resonant.
Tone Resonant Titanium Truss Rods. I'm a believer. I'm a believer.
Well, you know what, the only thing I'm thinking is, you don't see many titanium trumpets, do you? Or many titanium, you know,
I don't know.
orchestras.
All I do know is that when we demoed...
Or maybe you do, I could be completely wrong.
When we demoed, or I say we, when Danish Pete and Mick Taylor demoed the new Friedman guitars,
yeah,
and they sustained for days and days and days, and the only thing that Grover Jackson, who makes them, said that he'd sort of done differently on those, and he apparently used to do these on old Jacksons or something, is there are 2 little bits of metal,
oh, come on,
literally like doweling. So what happens is it's a bolt-on neck, and to get the neck in place, they have 2 little bits of metal doweling that hold the neck in, and then they bolt it in as normal.
Like a jig.
And it literally... He said,
those bits of metal were made of what?
If you take those away, he said it doesn't sustain as much.
And what were those bits?
That wasn't. That was just, all I meant was you can have you can do relatively simple mechanical things to a guitar that make huge
absolutely,
differences.
Sure. One of the earliest acoustic guitars made, the luthier that was involved in making it decided that he thought the top was the thing that made all the sound. So to prove this, he made a guitar from paper mache, apart from the top, and it played perfectly.
Well, the top is the only.
It has no relevance to these guitars at all.
Well, it makes the majority of the sound. So listen to the wood. Can you hear the Savannah? Can you hear the plains of? Can you hear? Can you hear the? Hakuna Matata. This is African mahogany on the back with a maple. You're the expert here. Is it a cap or is it a top when it's about 2 millimeters thick?
That's a top, sir.
It's a top.
Unless it's got real maple, no, that's a top.
So it's not a veneer, but it is about a sort of a 2 millimeter thick drop top of flamed maple.
These are made of Fujigen.
Are they?
It says F.
Oh, that's the posh factory, isn't it? That they have in Japan.
Very posh.
RG body styling, beautiful heel joint. We'll do some close-ups of these, I think. Wizard necks, 5-piece neck with a rosewood board and kind of flamed maple binding on the board.
It's beautiful, really.
Yeah. Glossy headstock, but matte finished neck.
I mean, in a way, if you look at it, it's kind of... You take a classic gem and then you alter it to remove it from being a signature model so that people who aren't necessarily into that artist, who's one of my favourite artists, can kind of feel that they can access the guitar. And for me, this is kind of like Japan's answer to a really high-end gem, but without association with an artist. Does that sound right to you?
I would. Yeah. Normally, it's not that I dislike Floyd Rose guitars, but normally when a guitar has a Floyd Rose system, I find it that there's something about it that whether it gets in the way or it doesn't. When you're doing sort of 2-string, that sort of thing, that it's hard to do because one note will detune. This isn't a Floyd Rose. This is like Ibanez's proprietary kind of version of a floating trem system. I think they call it. Is it Zero Edge or it's got some sort of funky name? I'm referring to my phone.
That's a new game on PlayStation.
I apologise. It is a Edge Zero WZP-S3, but it's the one with the very easy to adjust sort of tension control on the back here, so you can adjust how sort of tight the trem feels. And this is definitely set to be quite tight, so it's quite you've got to give it some to really sort of move.
You've got to give it welly for it to move.
It totally feels.
Well,
sturdy.
it means you can do things like.
3-note ring. Yeah, exactly. This is weird. Look, I must have been giving this some welly with the old right-hand heavy plectrum, because you can actually start to see the metal filings from the strings sticking to the magnetic pole pieces on the guitars.
Old right cap hand.
Yes, digging in.
Do that again.
A bit of the old James Hetfield there. Probably not. Huh?
Do that again.
Do what again?
Yes.
Yeah. Digging in. I like the recessed knobs. That's probably not a terribly expensive thing to do, but it makes it look classy, doesn't it?
Should we do some pointless high gain tones?
Yes.
I think we should do some pointless high gain tones.
Or some clean tones. I tell you what, I'll do clean tones because people presumably will at least want to know. And do you know what? No, I tell you what, let's do a little clean piece because you would.
Okay. I'm using Kettner for the first time.
Yeah, I'm still
really
into
enjoying
my
it.
trusty V40 with an Angry Charlie and a MXR carbon copy on the floor. So anyway, look, so my neck pickup with no effects other than reverb. There's no coil tapping on that humbucker. Next position. Middle. Next position. This one. Oh. But you didn't want to hear that. You want to hear this.
They might not. That's the beautiful bridge pickup, isn't it? But if we back it down one so it kind of slightly cleans. It's the spanky middle. It does everything you need it to do.
If you're wondering, Robert is using a Dunlop Mini Wah.
I'm using 8 hours of sleep, a Cadbury's cream egg, and a great Korean meal.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to be honest with you. I guess we might as well do these, insert these sweeps here or whatever whilst we're talking. But if you like guitars that are tidy, and by tidy I just mean, you like no filler around the inlays, all the metal parts to be really precision made, just every detail to be nice. You will like this guitar. You will be impressed. I've got to say, I've never really wanted an RG style guitar.
Oh man.
Because I guess it's not my thing. But if I was to have one, I think this is the level that I'd need to pitch at in order to sort of satisfy my...
I'm going to make a bold statement.
Go on.
And I'm going to say this is the best Ibanez I've ever played.
Yeah, well, you'd hope so, because that's the sort of bold statement they make on their website about J Custom. It should be where the best guitars come out
It's
of.
completely effortless. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing negative to say. I've been sat here for the last 15 minutes thinking of something constructive in criticism that I could bring forth, but there's really nothing. It plays like absolute butter. Sounds great.
I tell you what is noticeable that Ibanez do really, really well,
edges.
right down to the sort of, £300 and £400 ones, are the way they get these like bullet ends to the frets.
Yeah.
And they're really, really...
So go on, what's the damage?
They're about £2,400, so...
That's understandable.
Not kind of... not, I guess, traditional territory for what you might class as a custom shop guitar. So, I mean, I'm never going to say that £2,400, makes this an affordable guitar.
Well, I'll get 3 and I'll scallop them and put EMGs in them.
Well done.
And then I think we're onto a winner.
I want to stop the hate for EMG. Because,
I like EMGs.
Because I just sort of, I've decided that I am, what's the right word? I am my own worst forum troll.
Forget
when
the
it
gear.
comes to...
I always say, forget the gear, think about the hear. What are you hearing? And there's a lot of great... And also, EMG, people think EMG, they think active all the time.
Well, they think
great
81,
passive
85,
pickups.
don't they? And there's loads of other sets. But yes, I don't know. I kind of...
Lee, do a dive bomb for me.
It is appropriate in some...
Come on, bro, do a dive bomb.
So there we are. I guess,
You know what? We got a great job.
I was going to... Two other things to just quickly show you. You get this, like, when you go into like a sort of a relatively affordable Indian restaurant and they give you the same menu that everyone else in, you kind of get this Indian restaurant plastic folder with your Ibanez certificate in it that is signed by Matt Muranaka.
I can't even open mine.
Matt Muranaka,
Obviously
who
it's-
is the electric guitar product manager at Ibanez. And whilst we're here, I'll have a chicken tikka masala, sagaloo,
Mate,
and a pilau rice.
it's all about the madras. Veggie madras, but get the side of chicken.
And then there's also a really nice proper hard case. So not one of these semi-hard sort of canvas covered ones, the full ABS plastic Ibanez moulded case. Looks really nice.
I have been Rob Chapman.
And I've been the captain.
Accept this plectrum.
Yes, and this one. Au revoir.
Bye. This is Rory from the UK. Tell me about Rory.
So he edits videos. Rory's awesome.